y'all ready for this? Yeah.
Over the course of the last few years, of all the athletes that are out there training and the ones that are making it to that next level and truly making an impact on the field are the ones who are spending time in the weight room and working on their strength and conditioning and athleticism.
When we first started the Extreme, I remember playing teams from other regions of the country.
Played an event down in Chattanooga, Tennessee against one of the elite level programs in the country, and we looked small. And they beat up on us a little bit.
In years past, we'd show up down in Atlanta, Georgia. The WWBA is one of the bigger tournaments that we go play at. The other guys, the other teams were just big dudes. They were big and we were little, and we're like, man, how do we get to that stature?
And coming back from that event, we were all kind of brainstorming going, what are we missing?
We started to see that the piece that we were missing was the strength and conditioning.
I always felt like if we could improve the athletic foundation of our athletes and partner that up with the skill training that we were already doing. We already had access to some of the best trainers in the country. They were teaching the game well to our athletes, but we just didn't have the foundation of movement.
The strength and conditioning piece is what all of those skills build off of. So we always talk about the athletic ceiling, and so whether I'm training a hitter or a pitcher or a defender, I can only train them as far as their ceiling allows them to go. No amount of skill training is gonna raise that ceiling. It's gotta be strength and conditioning. It's gotta be the overall foundation of their athleticism.
Go down to the gym, use that way, okay?
It's fire. That's fire.
Quick warm up here, because then we're going to be doing some sprint work. Good luck. There you go. Go, that's it. We need to start transitioning into our acceleration and speed and getting after it and getting fast. We're going to do a few without a band. You got to put the same amount of force into the ground you just did. Same speed.
Let's go.
All right, 1, set, go. Fast.
A little bit back then, about 4 years ago, when we took our full performance-based program and put it in place and actually were very purposeful and intentional about what we were doing, you can just see how the athletes have grown physically over that period of time. Stronger, faster, quicker. It gives them a little bit of a mental edge because they have the confidence now that they are stronger and they can compete in those events.
We receive good feedback on how our kids, when they go to college, their freshman year, when they're in the gym and they're working with certified strength and conditioning coaches for the first time at the collegiate level, we're receiving good feedback on how our kids are holding up in those environments. And the most important thing, which always gets covered up, our kids are healthier. We're not dealing with as many injuries. That's contributed to the way that we have evolved in our strength and conditioning approach.
The strength and conditioning model that we use is really important for your athletes because they are going through a time in their life right now where they are growing.
We see a lot of our youth athletes, their bodies are constantly changing, and we need to stay on top of athletic performance to kind of counteract that, so they're used to being active inside their own bodies.
We're really big on teaching our kids to move better. You got to get them to be able to learn to control their bodies, be more aware. Body awareness is huge with the younger age.
When we're working with a youth athlete in a skill, they have to be able to move their body and put their body in certain positions to be able to continue to reach higher and higher levels of skill. Whether it's hitting and it's rotating through the ball, pitching, rotating through the ball, the way that their arm moves, defense, the way that they move their feet, their footwork. All those things require our athletes to put their bodies in certain positions and to be strong in certain positions. If we don't have that good athletic base, if that strength and conditioning isn't pushing their athletic ceiling higher, it's going to be harder and harder for us to truly make what we do in the cage transition onto the field.
We're in our third year of this strength conditioning model and programming that we've been doing for our athletes. And it's changed over the past couple of years. Initially when we were getting these athletes going, a lot of them haven't done any of this kind of stuff before, so it was pretty basic. We were building the foundation with our older kids that now we're doing at the younger age. When we first started doing this, our teams were getting 1 day a week of training, and sure, that was great, that was better than nothing, and we were able to teach them in that amount of time. But now we're on where our athletes are training anywhere from 2 to 4 days a week, depending on the team. Ones that are really taking advantage of that time and utilizing it, we're seeing them elevate their game and their performance in here. It's showing on the field. They're moving better, they're getting stronger. We're able to progress them on the types of movements that we're doing because they've built that foundation, they've spent that time working on that. It's exciting to see where they're gonna be in the next couple years and in the future. When they go to that next level, they're gonna stand out. Kids who go into a collegiate weight room, when they come from our program, they're gonna look experienced and know what they're doing and how to move. That really shows a lot of value in what we do because we focus so much on developing them from the beginning.